All right, we will go ahead and get started here. Up to our, got up to 4,000 encounters yesterday. Or not yesterday, well, we almost went into yesterday, but, 2 days ago. That up there, can I, yeah. That's a good spot for it. There we go. Yeah, I'm doing all right, Joe. I'm actually too high in the frame. That never happens. There we go. That seems like better placement. Yeah, it's been a chill day or two. There we go. Mostly been playing Rhythm Heaven. Yes, yeah, this is, I go today, and then Emmy is here tomorrow, and then we are rounded out, because yeah, Safari Week ends tomorrow. We have now gotten something, if you didn't catch it. There is a clip also, on the channel, but, Mochi did find and fail, a Houndour yesterday in Emerald. So we're not, I mean, we're literally empty-handed because he didn't catch it, but, we have found something collectively, which is nice. I'm really hoping we can get something today, because I can easily get another 1,000 encounters, in this time. And that feels like enough encounters to find something. But we shall see if that ends up being the case. And now I'm too low again. There we go. So that I don't have to have good posture, because I know I won't. Hello. Oh, this was very much a roll out of bed and hop on a stream today. So we're just gonna have to, for example, live with the fact that I'm breaking out really bad. I'm just not gonna worry about that. But yeah, good few hours. See what we can get to. I'm not doing anything else today. So if I'm in the mood and we end up not finding anything, we'll see if I end up potentially going a little longer. I think I said something along those lines at the start of Thursday's stream as well, and that definitely did not happen just because I was exhausted, but in theory it could. Was that Geodude in Arceus, I assume? Pretty sure that's where you're hunting, right? Yeah. Yeah, no, I've mostly been playing Rhythm Heaven and also Animal Crossing. I reset my Animal Crossing island, so that's been fun to get back to. I finally have my five initial villagers set up, meaning the ones with the my actual starters, and then the ones in the preset homes. Wondering why I was dying, and it's because I had not actually turned my fan on here. I've continued to wear this sweatshirt just to stay on theme, and because it's the only like Pokemon merch like wearable merch I own. But it is already hot in this room, and I can't set my AC any colder, and I'm wearing a sweatshirt. So that's fun. It's real toasty in here. And then we are back to the same encounter table from... We are back to the same encounter table from last Saturday. So the day Marsh spawns, and then we have Machop and Kangaskhan back in Johto in exchange for losing Fearow, which I'm totally happy with that trade. And then we got... I frankly have no idea if it's a daily spawn or not, but I did also snag... there's Scorpy in the Shining Pearl, which I would love to get. That's another great one. But we will see. The odds are definitely against me, but if I'm looking for one shiny, I do hope it's in Soul Silver here, because actually getting a 1 in 4096 game would be, or 1 in 8,000 game would be very fun. Hello. Welcome. So yeah, we're approaching BDSP odds, which does not actually mean we're gonna be above odds, just because I'm like splitting across 1 in 8,000. Yes, in fact, someone did. Yeah, Mochi found a Houndour in Emerald last night. It did run away on turn 1, so he lost it, but he did find one. Hey, that's the nature of Safari Week. You have to be happy with what you find, not necessarily what you catch. Not me though. I'll definitely catch whatever. If I find something, guaranteed I'm gonna catch it. Do not come back to this clip if I don't. Because now if I catch it, I was saying that the whole time, and if I don't catch it, this conversation never happened. I sure hope so. I mean, if I'm not the first, then we're relying on Emmy to be the first, because he's the only one to go after me. And I would not put his odds I would not rate his odds highly of that happening, just knowing him. Conversation store on Twitch's servers. Nope, I'm going to erase the servers. I'm actually feeding in data that is constantly corrupting the feed, so that as soon as it's done broadcasting, it's permanently erased and unrecoverable. Did I hear what? Erase the entire server? Yeah, why not? Just for fun. Yes, we were just discussing that. How it's a skill issue that he didn't catch it, and if I was there, I definitely would have. It's definitely not something silly like just a 15% fail chance. No, it's skill that he was lacking. He doesn't know Houndour like I do. that. Yeah, I have no idea what quote-unquote odds would even be for this hunt. Because I've gotten, I mean, it's not 4096, but it's also not 8192. It's somewhere between those. Because I haven't done, yeah, I don't know. That math is too hard for me to bother with. All I know is that we're definitely approaching the point where finding a shiny is, or we might already be there, honestly, but the point where finding a shiny is more likely than not finding one, just based on the cumulative odds. But that also doesn't mean anything. Probability hates you, and the Safari Zone specifically wants you to suffer. No, I didn't. Kangaskhan. Budew. Realizing I don't actually know what most of the Safari Zone shinies look like, or the Great Marsh shinies. I mean, I know actually, I mean, I know a decent chunk of them, but like, I know what Roselia's shiny is. I have no idea what Budew's shiny looks like. Truly no idea. I just don't ever think about Budew. Unless I'm playing a Gen 4 game. But even then, I tend to ignore it, because the ones I actually need to worry about are Roselia and Roserade. I don't like them enough to ever actually use them. Oh, it's slightly yellower. Do the like internal like colored spots on its little ear things change color? I want to say they're red and blue normally, so if it's anything like Roselia, I would imagine those would be black and purple. Are the whole buds just purple? That doesn't seem right. I mean, I believe you, but... Ooh. Okay, so they do match that. Neat. Alright. Well, if we were double hunting BDSP, we would be at odds. But we are not, so... I guess odds would be like, what? 1 in 6,000 something? Because we're like halfway between... That would be like halfway between the 2 games odds. Actually, we're a little ways away. Oh yeah, Poke Radar. I have a decent handful of Poke Radar shinies. I have at minimum. I think I moved some around. I got Miltank and Pachirisu, which these are two pretty good shinies. I mean, Miltank is just kind of gross in general, but it's a good shiny. Because I was chaining for them and it didn't work. I've tried to chain Sentret so many times. I just have not been able to do it. It's kind of ridiculous at this point. Oh, every so often I try to do a Masuda method hunt and I just can't do it. Shiny Caterpie and Sleep. That's a good one. I feel like a lot of those like early like route mons are kind of underrated in terms of their shinies. I mean, some of them just aren't very good. Like, I'm not gonna go to bat for like Pidgey's shiny. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's whatever. But Caterpie's a great one, and it's a good one of all. Actually, Metapod might be my favorite one of that line. I really like the orange. But no, with Masuda method, for some reason, that is just so much less interesting than like any other shiny hunting method. The more involved ones, at least you're doing something. But I don't enjoy the whole like waiting for eggs and you're constantly having to do like party management. Like, I don't want to like constantly shifting stuff around my boxes. Like, that is tedium. I mean, it's shiny hunting, it's all tedium, but that stuff is particularly grating for me. More power to you if you enjoy it, but I am not one of those people. I've tried to do egg hunts a handful of times for stuff that like can't easily be found in the wild or whatever, and I can't. I wish I could, because there's some great shinies that is by far the easiest way to hunt them, but I simply cannot. I don't think they're going to do this, but I really hope they add a good, like, interesting shiny hunt method in Winds and Waves. Like, the last two gens, they've really been slacking. Even in Legends, like, it's not great. Like, in Sword and Shield, the only one that is there is, like, there's the, like, Brilliant spawn thing that doesn't even work as intended. And then there's Dynamax Adventures. And Dynamax Adventures are good, but it's kind of like Ultra Warp Ride, where it's a very limited set of Pokemon and it takes forever to do resets. So even though the odds are high, it's like not actually that fast. And then Scarlet and Violet it's just the sandwiches, which is fine, but just the same random encounter hunts just with boosted odds is not really like a super interesting hunt method. I mean, it was for a bit just because, you know, it was kind of novel to be able to run around and like having to like spot the shinies yourself and all that was interesting. It still is to an extent, but I don't know, I'm missing something like Gen 6 hordes or like Poke Radar or something like that would be a lot of fun. Like hordes are obviously horde encounters will never come back because that's just not how encounters work in the more recent games, but man, those were so fun. Or even chain fishing. Like chain fishing is great. It requires like actual skill, so you don't just like mash buttons for 8 hours. Mass outbreaks are similar to horde encounter hunting, kind of. Like, I see what you're saying, but it feels... like, mechanically, it is actually fairly similar. Like, it's just... the numbers are pretty close, but the vibes are different. And also, I've never really bothered with doing specifically outbreak hunting in Scarlet Violet because you can just make a type spawn sandwich and it does it all for you. I truly feel like sandwiches were like actually a net negative to shiny hunting. They're just, you can do, and honestly for like overall game feel, like you can just do anything and ingredients are not hard to come across and you just make it. Yeah, I don't know. And like the only actually hard ingredients are the Herba Mystica, and even those, if you spend some time doing raids, like you'll stockpile enough. You don't even need to like stockpile them if you just like have a second. You can just do have a second switch with another save file that has all the Herba Mystica and then build the sandwich in multiplayer and reset over it. Like, it's just, and like they brought the same sort of system back somehow in an even worse way with donuts and Mega Dimension, and those just, I mean, donuts are bad for a lot of reasons. I mean, that's like kind of the main issue with Mega Dimension. Well, not the main issue, but a lot of it stems back to the donuts. And they're basically another take on the sandwich concept, which makes me think that we're gonna end up with something similar again. Curry was fun in Sword and Shield because it didn't, like, it was a cool little extra thing to do. Because it actually didn't really do much. I mean, it was friendship and a little bit of experience. And you had the, like, chance for the wild encounters with the Curry mark. But it wasn't like it just could do literally everything. Adjust, like, spawn rates and size and marks and shininess. Here we go. trying to think about what my strategy is gonna be if I actually do encounter something. I feel like it's just throw balls until it either works or it doesn't. I don't know if it's worth bothering with mud or bait. I swear, my DS screen just does not register touch half the time. Deeply annoying. My favorite shiny hunting method, it's almost certainly hordes. I really like hordes. I did a decent amount of both Ultra Warp Ride and Dynamax Adventures, and those are fun, but they don't really hit the same way. Also done a decent bit of chain fishing, and I do think that's fun too, but it's just such a limited spawn pool that it's hard for me to get like too excited about it. But that is how I got a shiny Sea King for my first Oras playthrough. Well, not my first one. I played Omega Ruby, and this was Omega Ruby. My first playthrough, and I love that game, but I basically just ended up playing it in such a way that I swept the game with Swampert. Not because I didn't, like, I was old enough that I knew how to make a balanced team. I had before. I just didn't realize how absurdly good Swampert was. And that just because it worked in a situation didn't mean I had to use it. But then in my Alpha Sapphire playthrough, I used a shiny Sea King. It was the only non-Hoenn Pokemon I used on that team, but that is where I am. Sea King is my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon, which is frankly an insane thing to say, but it's true. There's something about that fish. Yeah, I can't speak to really anything pre-Gen 6 because this is the first hunt I've done in a pre-Gen 6 game. At least for any real amount of time. I want to say for this playthrough, I spent a little bit of time soft resetting for Sudowoodo, and then I realized that I don't care that much, and I could just move on. So I did that. I guess I don't really know what shiny hunting methods are. I mean, it's radar. I do like BDSP radar a lot. I haven't done like actual Gen 4 radar, so I can't compare it, but and I also actually haven't done Gen 6 radar, even though it technically exists. I don't know that anyone uses Gen 6 radar. But I do really like BDSP radar. It's interesting, but the odds are still low enough that it feels like a real hunt. That's my issue with a lot of things. It's like, oh, with Dynamax Adventures, I'm getting 4 1 in 100 chances every time I go through this, and one of them is a legendary. And so it's still cool, but it doesn't feel as satisfying. Now, I'm not the kind of person who will go full odds just for that. Like, that's just too long of a process for me. I say as I'm doing full odds. But, kind of a good middle ground. But I also like the more constant, like you're always finding something, and so with lower odds, like the time ends up being roughly the same, but it feels better because you're seeing more stuff. Some people might think that feels worse. I don't know. I kind of agree that like, oh, you're seeing way more stuff and most of it isn't shiny, where with higher odds but slower methods, you do see more, or you like a higher percentage of what you find is shiny, which might be more satisfying. I don't know, I could change my mind in 20 minutes, and who knows. Z, hello, welcome. See how many encounters I hit at the hour mark here to kind of gauge where we might end up. My goal is minimum 1,000. We can get to 5k, that'll be great. I mean we did what, like 1,300 on Thursday, so that's not out of the realm of possibility. but we shall see. The pace is extremely dependent on a lot of things. Oof. That's awesome if my voice is going out. That'll be great. That'll be really good. This is this is the most I've talked for any reason in a long time, so I'm not surprised that I'm starting to feel it. Unless you normally watches any. Yeah, that is very understandable. He knows what he's doing. Let's see. 41 minutes, like 270. Okay, so we'll easily be at our 350 per hour pace, which is mostly where I want to be, because that's about 1,000 encounters in a 3-hour stream. I mean, give or take. Close enough. Ugh. Hey, if I've spent so much time talking smack about Starly and that ends up being what I get, it's gonna be deeply unfortunate. Like, I've gone on record multiple times now saying Starly is like the only thing I actively do not want. But knowing my luck, yeah, we're still, the normal stream schedule is still up in the air until Monday, because Emmy's last stream for the event is tomorrow. They're at Shiny Starter. It's kind of a toss-up between Poplio and Tepig. I like Poplio more than Tepig, but I like Emboar more than Primarina. All time though, it's probably Poplio. If I have to pick like one specific one and not a whole line, it's Poplio. Who coincidentally was also my first ever starter. So I'm sure that has absolutely nothing to do with it. I'm sure it's totally just a coincidence that I happen to like it so much. I will say, I feel like a lot of the shiny starters are kind of weak. I don't know why they consistently make them like so subtle. So, I mean, like, I don't even think none of the Gen 9 starters have very good shinies. Gen 8s were also just fine. Gen 7 had some good ones. Like, I mean, Primarina and actually all three of the fully evolved Alola starters are really good shinies. And really, I mean, the Alola starter trio is also just my favorite starter trio. But they also have really good shinies. No, I used, for Indigo Disc, I used a full shiny team, and that included Meganium, Emboar, Primarina, which was really unfortunate when they then revealed the ZA starters, and 2 of them were Chikorita and Tepig, who I had literally just used in the prior game. It's like I have to use one of these again because there was no universe where I picked Totodile. Like I don't like that guy. So it was gonna be either Chikorita or Tepig. I ended up going Tepig because Emboar is my #1, like, all-time favorite starter. I've used it, I think, 3 times now. I used it in Black and White 2, or I think just White 2. I used it in White 2. I used it in Indigo Disc, and I used it in ZA. God, I'm so glad I did too, because Mega Emboar is incredible. I cannot express how upset I am that its ability is lame. Like, everyone else got cool abilities, like Solar or whatever, Mega Soul and Dragon Eyes are both incredible abilities, really cool, unique, interesting, and then Mega Emboar is stuck with Mold Breaker. They don't want him to succeed, even though he's extremely cool. Like, Mega Emboar might be like top 3 megas for me. It's really up there. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Oh, I got a female starter in my White replay I just did. That stuff baffles me. I do not understand why the gender ratios for the starters are 7-1. It's extremely strange. I'm fine with them all being the same ratio. Like, I don't think, like, Primarina wanted to... Oh, okay. That does make sense. Because I guess, I mean, yeah, Ditto was a lot harder to find. Ditto was a lot harder to find in the early games. Now it doesn't really matter. Just because you can just catch Ditto and it's not a big deal at all. And also they just have them in the wild all over the place. But I don't think they're going to change it now just to keep that consistency, but I kind of hope they do. I actually might. Is that true? I don't know. I haven't played Gen 2 enough to know. Well, I have played Gen 2 a stupid amount, but almost never past the second gym. Because my childhood copy of Silver had a dead battery, so I could not save. Oh, and I guess Gen 1 didn't have... Well, Gen 1 didn't have breeding, period, so that was just... That's the first gen they did it, so that had to have just been for fun. I'm going to share IVs, can't beat you. They were certainly just trying some stuff in those games. Like, you mean it, the IVs affected whether or not they can breed? That's... Sure, man. I do wish games were weird like that again. Like, give us some like just bizarre mechanics that don't make sense. I have this issue with the Dark Souls or like the Souls franchise as well. Like, I've played every game except Bloodborne, and every game just gets like a little bit less weird. I mean, because like Demon Souls has like the whole world tendency. If you die, the game gets harder, or like if you do good, the game gets easier. And then you have Dark Souls 1, which just has too many features to count in terms of like weird extra stuff. And then Dark Souls 2 is still pretty weird, but they like have definitely cut back on a lot of specifically like the online connectivity things. And then you got Dark Souls 3, which basically doesn't have anything. Sekiro also, I mean, Sekiro just has easily the least online connectivity of any game because of how that game is. And then you get into Elden Ring, and like they're still maintaining the like obscure quest lines and like weird monster designs, and the lore doesn't really make sense unless you really think about it, and even then there's still a bunch of holes. But what it doesn't have is like like actual weird gameplay mechanics, which is like could be frustrating, I guess, if you don't know what they are. I mean, like, I have played Dark Souls 1 quite a bit, and I still have no idea like what a bunch of that stuff does. But I think that's cool, like, just to have that level of depth in the game. And they just keep getting further away from it. I'm hoping Duskbloods is strange. I mean, they definitely seem to have a lot of weird stuff just based on the few trailers we've seen, but who knows? I am really hoping I manage to get into the network test, because I was in the Night Rain network test, and that was a good time. I was one of the insane people who was getting up at 5 a.m. just to do like another network test slot. I think I played in all of them, some more than others, just because the servers were really funky at the start of that. But that's why it's a network test, to test the network. And in this case, the test showed that it was not working. But no, the network tests are always really, really fun for those games. Yeah, I think just the internet in general is probably a big part of why a lot of those features don't exist anymore. Because even if something is like weird and like whatever, players aren't gonna like discover it, or they're not gonna like spend the time and energy to figure out how it works. They're just gonna be confused and then look it up, and someone who's data mined the whole game will just have the info somewhere. Like, I think it's way more interesting to just like discover that stuff. And don't get me wrong, I am a huge proponent of wikis, and like all the wiki projects I've seen are really well done. I mean, Niwa especially is great. The Souls wikis are actually pretty inconsistent. There's not really a great Souls wiki. There are like 3 competing ones, and they all try to do different things and all have different things that are wrong. Like every Souls wiki is incorrect, but they're all wrong about different things, and it's impossible to tell which is which. Auto isn't fun to begin with. That I don't know if well, okay. I agree that it's maybe not fun, but that doesn't mean it's not interesting, which is something I care more about than fun for these sorts of games. I never did the Reggie puzzle. I don't know if I like. There is some stuff that's like, oh, how would you have figured that out? Bad at doing things that are hidden that are also fun to discover and not tedious. Yeah, that is the tricky part. Like, it's a very fine line. I know a lot of people were talking about, like, with stuff like Rune Regus, a lot of the, like, obscure evolution methods in the modern games. Like, yes, those are kind of what I'm talking about, but then they also just don't have anything to point you in that direction. Like, you could fully miss out on, like, at least the Arceus evolutions kind of gave you or pointed you in the right direction. Because, like, Legends Arceus, you had the whole, like, the research pages and, like, something like, name. Oh, like Overquill. Like, Galarian, or Hisuian Quillfish, Hisuian Quillfish has things that are, like, use Barbarage and use strong style moves. And so if you're just, like, going through to complete that and you use strong style Barbarage a bunch, like, your Quillfish will just be able to evolve. And that's cool. They're tedious, but I think they're okay just because they're actually discoverable. Like, they're tedious. Part of it is also, all of this stuff is tedious if you already know what to do, and it's just a matter of doing it. But if you're trying to figure out how to do it, that's more interesting. The ones that I don't like are the Scarlet and Violet new evolutions, like Farigiraf and Annihilate and Dunsparce, because those are all just like, if you don't learn the right move, and in Annihilate's case, don't use the right move. Let's this reset. Don't use the right move enough, you're just kind of stuck. Yeah, I mean, Farigiraf and Dunsparce are okay just because they need to know a move, and that's been an established evolution method for a while, with, like, Mamoswine and Licky, and some other ones, but those are the ones I can think of right now. It's like the learn a move is fine. I also don't love... That one was particularly bad in the older games, because if you just... There's nothing to indicate to learn those moves, and some of the moves are just not very good. Like, I don't know why I would teach my Piloswine Ancient Power. Like, that just doesn't seem like a good use of a move slot, but you have to evolve it, and in the old games where you have to, like, get a heart scale and go to the move reminder to get something back, which you're never gonna do if you don't know how to do it. It's just... favorite shiny starter was Poplio. Yeah, the Gen 4 evolutions are actually... They're a lot more egregious than I think people think. I mean, there's also, Ambipom, which needs double slap. Or was it double hit? I don't know. They're different moves, but they're the same move. Either way, I guess that was at least a physical, normal move, so you might have a reason to learn that on Aipom, but... yeah. Runerigus really is the most egregious example. That is one of those that's like... initially figuring it out isn't even fun. No, the other ones aren't all ancient. I want to say, because I just evolved a Licky Licky in BDSP, and I want to say that one's rollout, right? Or am I misremembering? Yeah. So it is different moves. Like, if it was all just like ancient power, that's one thing, but they're not. Yeah, Runerigus is like the person who first figured it out. That's not an interesting thing. And also, how do you even know that is what? Well, okay, I guess in Sword and Shield, like, stuff evolved instantly. So if you walked under it, you would know that triggered it, but you wouldn't know the prerequisite requirement. And then even after, so one person figures it out, they put it on a wiki. Oh yeah, no worries. Nice to have you here. But yeah, if some person figures it out, who knows how they do that? I mean, honestly, odds are they just like look in the files and find it. And they put it on a wiki, and people who don't feel like figuring it out, because I mean, they notice that their Yamask isn't evolving. They look it up and they're like, what? How would anyone ever figure this out? And then the people who don't look it up are just stuck with Yamask, because truly, how do you figure that out? I looked at, I want to say, because I was also, this was for Dex completion in Sword and Shield. I looked up how to evolve Yamask into Runerigus, and it still took me like half an hour to figure out, first of all, just to get the HP damage, because I had a low level one that I just like had caught initially on Route 5 or Route 4. I don't remember which route it is. But I just caught it at a low level, so I needed to get it down. I wasn't going to grind it up. Like, it just wasn't, I didn't care enough to do that. So that was already really annoying. And then the Dusty Bowl has like 6 rock arches. And I swear, I went under some of those like multiple times before I actually figured out which one was correct. It was just not. Yeah, no, it does kind of feel like that, where I don't even understand the lore of it. Like, I don't understand why it is the way that it is. I guess, but then you literally have Stonejourner, and then so like I don't. You know what? Let's see. Have you guys heard of this site called Bulbapedia? They perhaps have in the trivia section why its evolution is like that. Sure. Okay. So the answer is kind of, but not real. It's not a specific enough reference for anyone to figure out from that. I love how even Bulbapedia says it's a, quote, very subtle reference. Like, even they were like, we don't know on this one. And like, I know that they always say, like, that's just how they're phrasing. It's just like, it may be inspired by whatever, but specifically saying very subtle reference is really funny. The fact that Galarian Yamask evolves into Runerigus after taking at least 49 HP in damage could be a very subtle reference to the Antarabhava, a Buddhist concept of purgatory after death and before reincarnation. This process of Buddhist purgatory is said to last 49 days. Sure. Totally. Everyone knows that the process of Buddhist purgatory lasts 49 days. And that's relevant to Galarian Yamask, something that's based on Nordic runes. Like, it's based on Northern European runestones. Why is it talking about Buddhist funeral rites? Like, I understand that they had to come up with something because it's baffling, but I don't think that was the intention. Yeah, that is weird too. I do think they've definitely gotten more intentional in what regions they add stuff to. It's like in the early gens, it was just like, here are some creatures, and most of them were like, a lot of them were yokai because it was all in Japan anyway, so it could just be whatever. And then they started branching out, and like, Unova is New York, but it's also just kind of, I don't know. Unova is definitely the non-Japan region that has the least sense of place. Like, I don't really feel like I'm in the US in Unova, which I would know because I live here. And then, like, I mean, Kalos feels very French. Alola obviously feels like, I mean, tropical Hawaii. They literally have all the islands. Galar is, like, painfully British. And then Paldea is also... Paldea, I would say, is a pretty weak Spanish connection on average. Although, the Pokemon match, but I wouldn't say the other stuff matches as much. Like, Paldea is probably the weakest, like, I kind of just think Paldea is not a very good region in general. I mean, for thematic and, like, layout reasons. But it definitely doesn't feel like... Yeah, Portugal is definitely strange. I mean, it was intentional early on to make it based off Spain, because all of the Pokemon are extremely Spanish. Like, I mean, all three of the starters are, like, extremely Spanish. But the region itself just doesn't feel like it actually matches that. It seems like for Paldea, the region was more about what Pokemon they designed instead of like how everything else was laid out. Because like, at least Galar, I mean the shape obviously, it's hard to make a convincing region shape based on like Spain and Portugal because it's just a square. So like whatever. I mean, you see the like little thing that I think is supposed to be like the connection to France or whatever, but at least like Galar, the shape is right, the Pokemon are right, but then they also have the whole like tournament thing. Like they have the like soccer inspired gyms and like tournament structure. And like the minor leagues is also a cool reference to like how like UK football clubs work. Like you have to earn your spot into the like upper leagues and stuff. Like that is all very well done in Galar, and then they just kind of didn't do that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like enough of a soccer person to like really know or care about how they did it, but it is very surface level, but I also don't think it really needed to be more than that. Like the whole thing is, yes, the gyms are just soccer stadiums. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I legitimately enjoyed how in Sword and Shield the focus was a lot more on gyms again, because that had very much not been the case. The uniforms are fine. I like them in concept, except the I like the uniforms in concept, except the gym leaders like actually get unique ones, and then you can buy. I truly don't understand why you can buy the typed jerseys and then you can't actually use them in the gyms. Like that's crazy, especially because they have such good customization in Sword and Shield. Like it might be my favorite game for customization actually. And you just can't use it for like the major story beats. How England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland is definitely mostly England. Wales and Northern Ireland, I'm not sure, but Scotland, Crown Tundra is specifically based on Scotland. At least I would rather be stuck with my uniform for gym battles in Sword and Shield than be stuck in my school uniform for literally everything in Scarlet and Violet. That made me so... It continues to make me angry. Like, why did you do it like that? I know, people like to point out the Regieleki plot hole, and like, it's as simple as they hadn't started working on the DLC by the time they finalized the main game story. Like that's all it is. I know it feels weird, but like that's just a development timing thing. I don't think like Sword and Shield have an incredible story or anything, but I do like that it's like, no, your job is to do the gyms. You're not getting swept up in this like evil team stuff for no reason as a random like 10-year-old. People had gotten so used to always being involved in the like evil team plot beats that I think it felt weird. But I think for what the region was going for, having you take kind of a side role and really be focused on the gyms was done actually fairly well. Because then by the time you do get involved with the actual plot, it's during the like final, it's during the Champions Cup where there's actually a reason for you to be involved because it's affecting your like gym challenge. So like there's an actual reason for you to care now because it's interrupting what your actual goal has been. I don't think it was implemented well. Like, yeah, the hide and seek is stupid and it does kind of drag for a while. And then don't get me started on the post game. The post game is like just actually awful. The like to get Zashi and Samazenta, that's bad. But I feel like the main plot, if you describe it, I think it feels worse to play than it sounds if you describe it. Like, I think the overall plot beats of Sword and Shield are interesting. I just don't think they're implemented particularly well. I think Black and White did the plot better. I disagree quite strongly. But I'm also a Gen 5 hater. But I can say that with more confidence now because I actually replayed it now. And I still don't like it. Oh yeah, Bead is really well done. I think all of the characters are good. It's just the actual, well, okay, Rose is kind of stupid, but most of the characters are good. Like, I think Hop is really well done. Sonya's pretty good. Bead and Marnie, like all the rivals and Sonya are all pretty fun. They just, hello, welcome. Doing all right. We are complaining about the Sword and Shield plot. No, I disagree. I was a Hop hater for a long time, but I've come around on him. He, like, his whole arc is that he really wants, he's like living in the shadow of his brother. He really wants to be better, like, and prove himself as a good member of that family. He struggles and to find like he doesn't quite have, like, he's good, but you're just better than him. And then he finally realized, like, oh, you know, I'm struggling with battling and I could, like, take this other path. My main thing with Hop is, to me, what if Sharon and Bianca got merged into one person? And I think he does those arcs better than either of them do, for sure. Bianca and Sharon are deeply obnoxious for me. I don't think Leon's a great champion. He's, like, fine. I don't know. But yeah, he's just not particularly interesting. I really didn't remember how, like, their arcs until I replayed like Black and White. And you battle them so much. Like, I think they each have like 4 battles or something, and it's just my main issue with Black and White is you do functionally the same story beats like 6 times, and every time everyone says exactly the same thing. Like, they don't grow as characters, they just say the same stuff that you heard like 2 hours ago. Like, yes, I understand Sharon wants to be strong. Alder's like, hey, maybe focus on why you want to be strong. Bianca's like, oh, I'm not very good at battling, maybe I should do something else. And that's the entire depth of their character, and they repeat it at you every time you battle them, which is so many times. I have the same issue with like N and Getsus too. It's like no one listens to each other. They all just say the same stuff. And then they move on, and then you see them later and they say the same thing again. And then you find them later and they say the same thing again. The only time the plot gets good in Black and White is right at the end in the castle, where you finally learn like the Getsus and N lore. And even then it's totally overshadowed by Getsus just being, oh, actually, I was super evil the whole time, and all I want is to, like, I want all the Pokemon to myself. Like, okay, cool, dude. Like, I didn't ask. Like, I kind of figured out you were evil, believe it or not, considering, you're the way you are. Like, I don't know. I still have yet to replay the sequels, and I wonder if that'll change my opinion, because I truly remember nothing about the sequels. Like, absolutely nothing. Even less than I did of the base game. So I'm curious if that is going to change my opinion on like the overall story, but it definitely won't change the fact that like the original Black and White held in a vacuum, like as their own standalone games, are just not that interesting plot wise. Like for a game that that people say is so much about the story, like every character is painfully one-dimensional. Like the entire game, everyone's just feeling one emotion the whole time, and they love to tell you about it. Like, N is the only interesting character, and he's only interesting in the last hour of the game. The entire rest of the time, he's just like, you're weak and I'm strong, and I'm gonna get the dragon, and I'm gonna free all the Pokemon because people are mean to Pokemon, and also I can talk to them. And then he does variations on that conversation, but not actually saying anything different, all like 5 times you battle him. And finally at the end, he's like, oh, well, I got tricked by Getsus, and like he was mean to me, and like, okay, cool, I guess. I mean, like, you also, I mean, it's also just hard for me to like feel strongly about N and Getsus when I feel like Lily, Gladion, and Lusamine like do that type of dynamic way better. Like, no, I don't think people are wrong to like, yes, it was their first attempt at a plot heavy game, and I think it is a step up from, like, it's definitely them trying to transition into more like heavy stuff. I mean, because like Gens 3 and 4 were also fairly, honestly, a lot of the games had like, definitely had plot. It was just a lot campier and like goofier. Like Ruby and Sapphire have a lot of story. They're just incredibly stupid, which I don't think is a bad thing. It's just how those games are. But yeah, I just don't. It just bothers me when people are like, "Oh, this is the best story. This is the best Pokemon story." I'm glad you think that. I don't agree. Gen 5 plot is stupid, but you can tell they were trying to have it not be. Like, they wanted it to be serious. They just couldn't pull it off. But I also, I mean, like, I really like Gen 6, both X and Y and ORAS, and like, neither of those games have incredible story. I like them anyway. Like, I understand liking the game in spite of how the story is. And if you like the game itself enough, like, I'm sure you can kind of put aside some story gripes. But it's just when people talk specifically about the Black and White story, it bothers me because it's just not. Yeah, that's it too. It's like, I hate to be like, oh, well, people who like something, it's actually just nostalgia, because that's exactly the reason why I like Gen 6. Like, those are, from most objective metrics, they don't really stick the landing, but I just like them anyway. So like, I understand liking them, especially if it's like, oh, you're whatever, I don't know. I'm not saying that you don't. I'm saying I don't know that the plot is as good as people say it is. The overall game, the game's structure and plot are kind of funky because it really is just like route, team plasma stuff, gym, like that's basically, you just rinse and repeat that like 8 times, which is fine. I mean, whatever. But it does feel very on rails. I don't love the story, but like, the gameplay is great. I think it looks good. I don't love the overworld, but like, they did what they had to do. But like, in battle, I really like how that all looks. Like, I love the animated sprites. And the like bonus and post-game content is really well done. My issue just comes down to people talking up the story, and like, liking the story is one thing. I think it's frankly a little insane to call it better than something like Gen 7 or Gen 9. Like, their only story miss in recent memory is Sword and Shield. And even Sword and Shield, like, the DLC stories are really good. Like, Isle of Armor is great. Crown Tundra is great. So like, it's just Sword and Shield base game that kind of dropped the ball in terms of plot. But like, Gen 7, both Gen 7 games are great. I think Ultra is not as good. I prefer the originals, but like, they're not bad. They're just different. I like the decisions less, but like, the structure is still there. And then, yeah, the DLCs are good. BDSP is, I mean, it's a remake. It has the same story as Diamond and Pearl, whatever. I don't think it's a great story, but it's like totally fine. And then Legends Arceus is great. Scarlet and Violet is great. The Scarlet Violet DLC is great. And then ZA also has a really good story. So like from in the last like 3 generations, they kind of like they've only really had one miss in terms of story. The game concept carries the story a lot. Yeah, I mean, I think that's true, but it's still, I mean, it's still interesting. Okay. Will like Dark is, but they toned down how many characters are blatant ancestors. Yeah. It didn't really bother me, but I also just don't super see the point. Like, I don't think I ever really gained anything by them being ancestors. Like, oh, cool, you're related to this character, but then don't act like them at all. Okay. Like, I just, in what way are, like, the Misfortune Sisters, why is it relevant for them to be related to, like, Bertha and Saturn? Like, it's just, it's so strange. Like, it was interesting at first when I was like, oh, I think Cyllene and Commodore are... Cyllene and Commodore are good, are well done, I think. Like they have interesting roles, and they do kind of, I think them being ancestors is actually kind of relevant. Like it's interesting seeing Commodore go to Rowan and then Cyllene go to Cyrus. Like that's interesting, but like, why is there just some random guy in the town that... Like, why is there some random guy in the town that looks like Gardenia? That does not enhance my gameplay experience. Clay is fine. I don't mind Liam, honestly. Like that's whatever. But then they did that, and then they also did Lacey in Indigo Disc. So we just like, I don't know why we're so focused on Clay specifically. Like that, a little strange. Admittedly, Clay is like easily the most memorable Gen 5 gym leader. Like, he is definitely the most involved in stuff. And I do think he's endearing, like the whole cowboy thing. Like, I actually do really like Clay. So if they want to give us more stuff about him, fine. But then like Lacey, Lacey would have been exactly the same character whether or not she was related from Clay, or related to Clay. Like, I don't think anything about her character is relevant that she's like... Did to color perception of the characters? That's fine, except they don't actually ever do anything with that. Like you see like a lot of these characters, and it's like they don't actually do anything with the fact that they're ancestors. Like, you look at like Volo and Kogita, and it's like, yeah, okay, they're related to Cynthia. I don't understand how that informs their character. Yeah, I mean, you have, like, I think that is interesting if they had done more with the fact that they were ancestors. Like, I mean, the most interesting characters in Arceus are Adamant and Irida, who are like the few characters who aren't related to anyone. I mean, they are now, but just because they added Perrin in like Gen 9 DLC, but at the time they weren't related to anyone. And like, I don't know if their arc would have been better if they were, I don't know. No, Kamado and Celine are absolutely not who I'm complaining about. Those two are great, and the fact that their ancestors are well done. Like, yeah, I don't know. I do at least appreciate there were like a decent number of ones that I think are meant to be ancestors, but I just can't tell who. Because I mean, like, you have like I cannot for the life of me remember the names of half of these people, but like the Ursaluna Warden and then the two Coastlands people, like, I don't think none of them, and Melly actually, who I actually do remember his name, like none of them are like super explicit ancestors. I don't know. The Volo team didn't bother me that much, but it was a little weird just because the Cynthia team on Volo was a little weird just because, yes, I had literally just fought them, which means I know I know what their team is. I've fought this team before. I don't need to see it again. I'm also not sure why we have Kogita and Volo as Cynthia references. Like, Volo being an original character would have been totally fine and made sense with his lore. Look, I do not have answers for you. That is not my purview. I have no idea. I don't know how I would even go about fixing that. Yeah, Archaic's the only one that actually has direct access to the Bulba Garden account. Like the actual stream and user settings. But yeah, no, I think one of Kogita or Volo needed to be an original character. I actually think Volo being a Cynthia descendant is fine. That actually kind of makes sense. Because you have the whole, you know, travel back in time, power, like hungry, whatever. That's fine. Then Kogita, nothing about her screams Cynthia other than her appearance. She doesn't really do anything. Like, I don't know. I don't know that would be changed by being an original character. Connection to the myths, I suppose. I feel like you could have done someone else for that, but what do I know? Although I guess the one who like explains the like Sinnoh myth in Gen 4, I guess the one who explains the Sinnoh myth in Gen 4 is like Cynthia's grandma, or like, right? Not making that up. In which case, I guess it kind of makes sense to have two related ones, but then like you could have made one like visibly older or something. I don't know. I actually think Volo is one of the few characters where it does make sense that he's an ancestor. Like, I'm totally fine with keeping that, but it's like it's like they're getting ready to go somewhere. They come out of the changing room. It's like one of you needs to change. Like, God, yeah, the rival with a Pikachu is so strange to me. I don't know. I maybe should replay Arceus one of these days, because I truly have not touched it since 2022. It's been well over 4 years since I played it. Yeah, I think I don't necessarily dislike the Descendants. I just feel like there's a lot of missed potential in what they could have done. Yeah, my Legends Arceus file is actually still on my Switch 1. So if I just like booted it up on my Switch 2, I'd get a new file anyway. But it is extremely nice that you functionally have real files on Switch. Like, there's so many old games that I want to replay, but I don't, because I don't want to lose the file. Like, I have a couple of games like on cart and digitally, so I can keep my original file, and then if I want to replay, I can play the digital version, and those I don't care about keeping as much. Like I have that for, like I have Omega Ruby physical and Alpha Sapphire digital. It's like I can play either of them. I'm still about my first ever Pokemon file, my original Sun file, I overwrote to start a new playthrough, and I remember nothing about that team other than I used Primarina. Like, my first ever Pokemon team is just lost to time. It's like, they have the capability now to do save files. Like, they could do it. I know in Gen 1 it was like a conscious decision between, I think, what was it, nicknames or save files in Gen 1, and they ended up going with nicknames, which admittedly at the time was probably the correct decision, but then when they did, I guess Gold and Silver were also probably pretty data crunched just because they also fit Kanto in there. Then when by the time you get to Gen 3 and you're doing like, you're redoing like so much of, like you're redoing so much stuff anyway, like couldn't have added save files then. And now, like, yeah, now they're fully capable of doing it, but it's precedent now that Pokemon doesn't have save files. I wonder if also just because of online connectivity and stuff, they don't want to do it, but it's really annoying for like it's really annoying like if I want to replay a game and oh, you know, I want to use like these late game Pokemon, but I also want to have like have them have my OT, so I'll get eggs, except I can't trade eggs around. I can't trade eggs around because I don't have online on my like secondary like profile, and I can't put eggs in home to transfer them that way, so I just am stuck. Like I have to just have someone hatch them. The no eggs through home thing is really odd to me. You would think that they would, like, there can't be that much data in an egg, right? Because, like, most of the stuff is generated when it hatches. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's something that I'm not thinking of that means you can't actually do it. Like, I wonder if, like, eggs from different games probably carry different data and they don't want to handle, like, oh, this is a Sword and Shield egg. This is a Scarlet and Violet egg. But just for that specific use case, it really bothers me. And the rest of the time, it's fine, but... That might be true. I've, like I said before, with like not really caring about Masuda method, I have not done enough stuff with eggs to like actually know how they work. But I guess if they do actually have like all the stat, and if they actually do have all that data, that makes a little more sense. I guess they would have to, because they carry down like IVs and that kind of stuff. So I guess they do have to I guess they do have to actually keep track of a fair bit of data. I still feel like it's probably a solvable problem. They just don't care to solve it, which, whatever. I'll still play the games, so I don't... Like, I truly am the problem. Like, I will just get the games when they come out, basically no matter what, so... Whatever, if they don't need to fix stuff, because I'll buy them. Oof. Yeah, we are really getting up there in encounters. Nothing. Alas. I mean, I've heard so many stories of people going like 15, 20,000 encounters with nothing, and that is truly absurd. But still another full hour, which maybe actually a little over. So simultaneously felt like it's taken much longer and much less time than it actually has. I feel like I've been going for 45 minutes and also 8 hours. I think part of it is I didn't realize how spoiled I was getting like 5 days off between last Saturday and my Thursday slot. That was quite nice to not have to do this for a while. Not that it's like a pain, but it's just these are long streams where I just have to fill air. I am very used to actually playing stuff that lets you talk about the game. Spent like an hour and a half working on Yes. Yeah, that is one of those things. Like, honestly, Spiritomb is one of those Pokemon that I feel like kind of shouldn't be able to breed. But it can, so might as well if you have the option. Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, that would be, because yeah, that one's one of those ones where you just don't want. I don't think I have. I mean, I was gonna say I don't think I have Spiritomb in this file, and I definitely don't. But that's not saying much because I don't have most Pokemon in this BDSP file. Dude, what is my dex actually at? Yeah, 51 caught. Like, here's the actual Sinnoh dex. I mean, I've seen everything here. Certainly haven't caught them. Oh my god. No, I did also, I had Jirachi and Manaphy on this BDSP team, but those have since been transferred up to Scarlet Violet, where I'm gonna probably keep moving them forward just because I like having them around. I mean, Jirachi's like top 3 Pokemon for me, so I like having them around. Manaphy's up there too. I really like them both. That is one of the things. I'm so happy they actually put Manaphy, and like they gave you legendaries at usable levels early in the game. Let's not open that. I know recently I went through and made a list of like what mythical you could get in which game, and it's crazy how many are Legends, like both Legends games, Arceus and ZA. Like, so many of them are concentrated there. BDSP has a lot too. I mean, BDSP has at minimum Mew and Jirachi. Manaphy was limited time, but you can get Manaphy in Arceus, so it works out. I think I'm pretty sure it did. Well, not ZA itself, but specifically the DLC. Mega Dimension has so many. I mean, it has what? At minimum, Genesect, Meltan, Melmetal, Darkrai. Or Keldeo. I thought Keldeo I had marked as... Keldeo and Meloetta I had marked as Sword and Shield and Scarlet Violet, respectively. The Crown Tundra quest, and then in the Terrarium. So like, oh, news to me. I cleared the main story of Mega Dimension, and then I kind of ignored most of the rest of it. Are they in the special scan wormholes, or are they? Okay, they are special scan. That's what I thought. So I was like, I'm pretty sure they don't have side missions for them, because I would have seen those, but I don't know. I cannot be bothered to do the special scans. They're just... I like ZA, but man, there is just... The DLC is so bad. I mean, it's fine. It's tolerable for a playthrough, but like, why would I do any more than I absolutely have to? Yeah, Magearna, Marshadow, Hoopa, Volcanion, those are all side missions. I think Magearna is technically still available via QR code in Sun and Moon, which extremely funny that that's an option. But I'm pretty sure that still works. think the only one that you actually needed a 3DS for, well, okay, Victini is the only one that's just like flat out not available as far as I could tell. But I think the only time you needed a 3DS and not a Switch was for Celebi in Virtual Console Crystal. I think all of the rest of them are available on Switch now, which is kind of crazy. Oh, actually, Zarude is also not available. It's Victini and Zarude are the two that are unobtainable currently. Is it still an event? I think I might have just saw event only and assumed that it wasn't available, because why would there still be Zarude events? Oh yeah, Victini in Go makes sense, but I don't know that I wasn't looking at spin-offs for this. I was looking at just core series. But also, can you even I don't play Go, so I have no idea, but can you even transfer like legendaries and mythicals up to home? That feels like something they wouldn't let you do, but I truly have no idea. Okay, you can transfer basically anything. That feels like a restriction that they would have, but I mean, it's cool that it isn't. It's just annoying that is the... I mean, the real answer is just DNS, the event Victini from Black and White, but... I actually should re-download Go literally just to transfer up like one thing. I had for the Spiritomb, there was like a Spiritomb like Halloween event at some point. It's the only Spiritomb I got, and I like claimed the reward, and I was like, oh, cool, you just get a shiny Spiritomb for this quest. No, it's it's not normally shiny. I just happen to get stupidly lucky. It's the only Spiritomb I have in Go, and it's shiny. So I should re-download it and transfer that up to a game where I can actually use it. I wouldn't know. But I also don't care enough to do all that. Spiritomb and Rotom are Halloween research. Yeah, it was some sort of Halloween event that I got Spiritomb in. I don't know if I have a Rotom in Go. Not that it matters, because Rotom is like way more accessible in the other games. Spiritomb is one of the few Pokemon that like was actively stopping me from getting like actually completing the Arceus dex. It's like I cannot be bothered to find all the wisps. Like I truly do not care. Like I think I have like maybe 3/4 of the Arceus dex on my main file. I can't. I can't be bothered. I'm also an Arceus hater. I can't. The gameplay loop of that game is just not interesting to me. But it's like I didn't do, even though like it's a really good like shiny hunting game, I have done very little Arceus shiny hunting just because I don't care enough. Like, what am I gonna do with the shiny in this game? Like, I'm not even gonna use it in like, not that I do like online battles or like raids in Scarlet Violet, but at least I theoretically could. 4 or 5 boxes is crazy. I feel like I have a lot of Scarlet Violet shinies, and it's like under 2 boxes. It's like between like 40 and 50 Violet shinies. Yeah, that is kind of what I've noticed about Arceus. It's like you either get like none or you get so many. I was working on an Arceus badge quest for a while, and I got decently far into that. I think I ended up stalling out around Sneasler, because I was doing 1 per ride Pokemon and Noble, so like 10 total across the game. And I could not handle doing the Highlands anymore. But that's still 6 of them, which, you know. And I, in my initial playthrough, I was aware that Hisuian Avalugg existed, but I had never seen it. So I hunted for a shiny Bergmite as soon as I made it to the Icelands. And in my mind, Hisuian Avalugg is the shiny version, because that's like the only one I have seen, because that was the one that was on my team. Like, it's weird seeing it not orange. Nah, I love Avalugg. Hisuian Avalugg specifically is so cool to me. Like, yes, a giant like ice Taurus that's a like snowplow. Obviously. Now, do I wish it didn't have a horrendous typing? Yes, Ice and Rock is truly so bad. Like, unusably bad. I mean, I did use it because it's a Pokemon game main story. Like, it's not that serious, but my team was not well equipped for that final Volo battle. The final Volo battle in Arceus might be the hardest, like, main story Pokemon battle I've ever done. Partially because my team was awful. I mean, who did I have for... Legends Arceus. Oh yeah, Basculegion, Parasect, Flareon, Ursaluna, Hisuian Gudra, Hisuian Avalugg. Like, I have some decent mons in there, but then I also have Parasect, Hisuian Avalugg. Like, which final battle? Because there's a decent chance that I just haven't done it. But also I'm way more comfortable with the ZA battle system than the DLC one. have not done it. That's the one that requires you to do all the side quests, right? Because if so, I have not bothered to do that. Okay, yeah. I've not done that one, but can't be that bad. But also my ZA team is much better. That one was... Yeah, well, my whole team is level 100 because it has to be for the DLC to be functional. The DLC is unplayable if you are not at level 100. But, I mean, I first tried, like... I think all but, like, 2 battles first try in the base game. One of them was... And I think I lost to the legendaries a few times, in the DLC, but... That's because Darkrai and Rayquaza are stupid. Mostly a donut issue. Like, I don't understand why there's a time limit on the rogue mega fights, but well, I don't know. I was like, I might as well get to level 100 just because I don't know. I was not gonna be under leveled for this stuff. I'm like, final stuff is level 200. Like, you have to be 100 to match that. I don't know. The leveling was a cool concept, but it kind of made it miserable. Because then you're dealing with, you know, even if you want to, like, use hyperspace mons, like, you're catching them at, like, level 22, and then they need to be, even if you're not going to 100, they need to be, like, yeah, like 80s, 90s. And, like, you get a lot of experience candy just from, like, doing stuff in hyperspace, but, like, I don't know, that should not be... I don't understand why you can't just catch them at, like... I understand not catching them at, like, you know, level 100 just because they're whatever, but, like, whatever the boost, whatever the, like, level boost is that the like, hyperspace hole is functioning in, like, you could just take those levels off and give it to you at, like, 80, like 70 or 80 or whatever. I guess maybe they wanted you to be able to, like, trade them over and use them for a, like, main game playthrough, but I don't know. Because, like, then they would at least be normal levels for that. But that's, like, the only time they ever cared about that stuff. I'm still mad you can't use the paradoxes in a playthrough. Honestly, that just bothers me with Pokemon games in general. It's like, what is the point of putting a Pokemon that's only, like, a normal Pokemon? The paradoxes are one thing, but, like, a normal Pokemon that's only available, like, in the route right before, like, Victory Road. Like, I'm never going to use it on my team because I have, believe it or not, by the time I've beaten every gym in the game, I typically have a set team. Like, I don't understand it. It's like, it took me a long time to actually use, Ice-Q in Sword and Shield, and, like, that's my favorite Pokemon of all time. And I never used it because you can't catch, I mean, you can catch it in, like, Lake of Outrage and then Route 10, which is the route right before Winden. Like, it's absurd. It's like, there are always so many cool Pokemon that I could use. It's like, by the time I can actually access them, I functionally can't because I have a set team. The fact that I held off until, like, the final area for Avalugg in Legends Arceus is like a huge concession for me, and I only did that because I knew there was a new Avalugg and I wanted it. If I hadn't been aware of that, I would have filled my team and I wouldn't have used it. The nice thing about like Scarlet Violet is even if the Pokemon is like really late game typically, worst case scenario, you run all the way over there, catch it at a really high level, and then breed it so that you have one that obeys. Like, and yeah, that running and catching is annoying, but at least you literally can do it. You are allowed to do it, as opposed to like the linear games where you're just stuck. Like if you don't have access, you're out of luck. I also much prefer the Scarlet Violet method of like you can catch them, but it's going to be really hard and they won't obey, versus Sword and Shields, you're just not allowed to catch them at all at a certain level. And like they do that, but then they don't enforce the Dynamax adventures. So like what's I don't understand the point of that. Yeah, it sure seems like it. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. We are safari zoning. Oh man, that one made me so mad. Cause I love Crabominable, and when I saw that it got a Mega, I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna use that on my like DLC team, because I was building a new team for the DLC. And then it was like, oh, they're absurdly powerful, and also there's 2 of them, and also you lose your donut every time you die. And then I decided that I actually would not be getting them at a reasonable point. Like I had to come back so much later to actually use them, when like no other DLC battle was like that. It's just, yeah. Because like they have other side missions that are about the that are for the new Megas. Like I mean, like Golisopod, Glamora, Golurk, all of those like have their own like little area, and you battle them, and you battle one of them, and it's normal. For some reason, Crabominable is just stupid. well, honestly shocked that I made it almost 2.5 hours before accidentally throwing something else. Sure, I guess I have another Machop on this file. Cool. Oh, and we'll bump the camera just for good measure, because I can't do anything successfully. No. Yeah, no, I do not think the Crabominal was supposed to be that bad. Because that would be absurd. If that was intentional and because the thing is, it would be one thing if it was really hard, but it was like at a high level. Like it was, I think it's what, like a 2-star, like hole, and you get it like after, I think you'll get it right after Absol, like Absol Z. It like there's no universe where that is balanced for that early in the DLC's scaling. Yeah, no, in general, it is just crazy that, like, I really like the base game of ZA, but Mega Dimension might be the worst, like, the worst, like, main series Pokemon product they have put out in a very long time. Like, Scarlet Violet, for all its, like, technical hiccups and, like, stuff looking terrible and running worse, at least the game is fun to play. This, like, Mega Dimension is an active slog. It's crazy that they created that system, playtested it, and were like, yup, we can sell this. It was, like, fun enough for what it was, but by the time I was done, I was done. Yeah, no, that, like, truly, you have a time limit, and it's totally random, and if you don't, like, if you don't do well in this, like, distortion, you just don't get your stuff back. Like, you're just out all those good berries. It's truly baffling. Like, I will defend a lot of modern Pokemon stuff. Mega Dimension is actively bad. Even Arceus, like, which I don't love, at least I appreciate what it's trying to do, and, like, I get why people like it. It's just not for me. I'm not sure who Mega Dimension is for. And, like, I've talked to people who, like, enjoyed it enough, but, like, they're big on grinding. Like, that doesn't bother them, and, like, whatever. Like, they'll take their time, which, fine, cool. I'm happy for you, but I shouldn't need to be, like, I shouldn't need to resign myself to being, like, okay with grinding to get through the main function of the content. Like, the grind is for extra stuff. The grind should not be for doing the game. Yeah, that's crazy too. It's like, I understand why trait evolutions are a thing, but it still continues to be extremely obnoxious. Yeah, no, it's crazy. I mean, I completed the ZA decks like pretty soon after beating the game just because I was having fun. Like, I wanted to get all the stuff. I am nowhere close to completing the Mega Dimension decks. Like, the Hyperspace decks, I'm like maybe halfway, and most of that's just stuff that was in the base game. Like, it is truly terrible. Did anything interesting happen? No, not really. And, like, I would have completed the Hyperspace decks. I was totally fine on doing that. Like, I would have happily completed all the normal mons and, like, whatever. It would have been a little tedious to, like, find the right distortions and all that. But then the special scan legendaries are in the decks, and there's no universe where I'm going to deal with hunting down all the special scans. Like, I'm just not going to do it. So why would I bother getting all the rest of it if I'm not going to complete it anyway, just because the special scans are awful. Yeah, I cannot fathom replaying ZA, like, within the next, like, year or two. Like, it is just... Even the base game, which I did enjoy a lot more, is still very tedious. Like, the structure is just, I feel like, fundamentally flawed in that game. And, like, it doesn't matter as much in the base game, because, like, the story, the characters, the mons, like, everything around it is good, or at least better. But then you get to the DLC, and, like, all the charm is gone. It's just tedium. Yeah, it's like, I didn't do the legendary hunts in Indigo Disc either, but that was fine because they weren't in the Terrarium Pokedex. Like, I had no reason to hunt them down because, I mean, I know what the legendaries look like, and it was a much less interesting method of finding them than like Ultra Warp Ride or Dynamax Adventures. So, like, I just didn't bother. But, like, I didn't need to bother. You weren't forcing me to get them to complete the decks, even when they're, like, only marginally included in the decks. Yeah, no, the hyperspace dex is the only dex in like, okay, actually no, I didn't do the, we were just talking about how I didn't do the, so I'm just like, what I was going to say is just fully untrue, because the only dexes I actually have done are all those Sword and Shield and Scarlet Violet ones. Like, I skipped BDSP and Arceus and ZA. Well, the ZA DLC. I did ZA base game. But either way, like, I am no stranger to, like, doing the, like, dex completion grind. Like, I've done it enough to, like, get it, and I knew that it was not going to be worth my time for... Especially because the dex completion bonuses in ZA are like way wimpier. I already had the shiny charm. I don't really care about... I don't even know what the hyperspace reward is. The hyperspace dex completion reward. But I can guarantee you it's almost certainly nothing I care about, because I'm not going to keep playing the game anyway. So why should I care? At least with the shiny charm, it's like, oh, well, this is a reason to like... come back and keep doing stuff, because some of the shinies are good. And like, I actually don't mind ZA shiny hunting. I think it's okay. I'm gonna get a shiny Furfrou in ZA. Oh my god, I don't even get me started on the Furfrou League side quests in ZA. I want to hate them so bad, but I actually think they might be the best, like, the best way of selling the combat, like the battle system out of anything in the whole game. Like, they were obnoxious, but man, that final champion battle, when I got it to click, it was so satisfying. Because I had one, or no, I think I had two Furfrou. Because I needed two for this strategy to work, but it was definitely, I could have and should have gotten more and also leveled them more, but like, I was actually like positioning myself to dodge attacks and like using the item cooldowns, and it was the most I've ever felt like a real like anime level Pokemon trainer. Like move calls and like dodging stuff, and it was so cool. And like none of the other base game fights forced me to do that, just because I always had like a bunch of Pokemon where it was fine to get hit because I could just heal later. Stop showing me Starly. You're gonna... I don't want Starly. In fact, I would prefer if Starly was not here. Yeah, no, the Pikachu... The Pikachu versus was brutal. And yeah, I definitely XP candied a lot of those, but I didn't have as much XP candy as I would like, because I used a lot of it for dex completion, and I did a lot of the like side missions after I finished the dex, so I was just like, I did. It only helps so much when I'm still like 20 levels under leveled, because I can't be bothered to grind. And I made it work, but it was a real pain. Yeah, that is more effort than I was willing to put in. Like, I'm an extremely casual player in terms of, like, I'm just gonna brute force it with what I have, and if that takes forever, so be it. Yeah, no, I just ended up evolving Pikachu for the Raichu battle as well. I think that Raichu battle was actually the last one I did, the last side mission. Yeah, that's rough. I definitely can imagine that happening, and I would be annoyed for sure. Yeah, Scorpy is... Oh, that was one too many. Whatever, I'll just skip one next time. Yeah, Scorpy has been fun. I would love that one. I like it a lot. Not Starly though. I'll pass on Starly. Scorpy's red, right? I'm not making that up. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I want to say actually I'm pretty sure I have a shiny Drapion in Arceus. That might have been actually from that badge quest. I caught a Scorpy. Truly can't remember. Whoa, 600 encounters without a shiny? God, I wish that felt like a high number. I mean, we're still under odds here, so, like, I'm not particularly surprised, but... No, my issue is I'm either extremely lucky or like I never have like average luck, I feel like. Because my first ever shiny, I was like, oh, I'm finally gonna do a shiny hunt. I'm gonna horde hunt for Mareep. I like got a tracker set up and everything. 36 hordes, and then I got a shiny Mareep. Like it was absurd. And so that has permanently tainted my perception of like how long shinies take to find. No way, you found a Scorpy? That's crazy. Now that's lucky, finding a non-shiny Scorpy. I do remember I was doing a psychic type, psychic monotype run in Shield, and that on literally the first route, like right after I got balls and like left Slumbering Weald and stuff, there was a random shiny Squovit on Route 1 within the first hour of the game in a playthrough where I couldn't use it because I was doing a monotype thing. That's crazy. I would love shiny Glamora. I used Glamora on my Mega Dimension team, Mega Glamora, and that thing has gone up my ranking so much now. I was so like, I just did not care about it in Scarlet Violet, but after using it in ZA, like that thing is great. And I had it, it was like one of my main material mons in Bocopia, and so I'm a big Glamora fan now. Yeah, I had no, I mean, I rebuild my teams for the DLCs in general. Like that's just how I play them. So it didn't really bother me. Like I did the same thing with, I mean, I had a unique team for each DLC in Scarlet Violet. Like I built a Teal Mask team and an Indigo Disc team. Which, yeah, it doesn't bother me because like I used my main team for a whole playthrough already. Like I can use some new ones, and it actually does help like bond with them since you are still going through a whole like plot with them, even if it's not as extensive. Yeah, I mean, hey, that certainly is a fun team. I did end up using some non-megas on my ZA team. I think, yeah, I had Glaceon and a shiny Heliolisk on my ZA team, and like they couldn't mega evolve, but they were still pretty useful. I mean, I know Glaceon like completely soloed the final post-game Zygarde fight. Yeah, the game encourages you to use megas, but that's stupid because if they only want you to use megas, why do they have so many Pokemon that don't have megas? Like, I'm gonna use the Pokemon and I'll make them work. Like, I'm not gonna limit myself to like a tiny fraction of the whole dex just to force myself to use all megas. And like, I don't know, I picked out some other mons that I didn't know had megas at the time. Like, I had no idea Barbaracle had a mega when I chose to use it. Who knows? Maybe there was a mega Heliolisk. I didn't know. Like, you know, Ice Beam is just crazy in that game. Like, the range is absurd. I think that was my main, that was the main one I used for, Ange Floette, too. Didn't give Roserade a mega. Yeah, that would have been cool. I mean, there are a lot of Pokemon I wish had gotten megas. And a lot of the ones I wish actually did end up getting, like, I'm baffled that we got a Mega Drampa, but, like, I am not complaining. Drampa is, like, one of my favorite Gen 7 mons and one that I feel like most people don't care about, so that was a cool one to see. I mean, the only bad mega in like the entire thing is it, like, out of all the new megas, the only one I actively don't like is Pyroar. Like, it doesn't, I get what they were going for, but it just doesn't work. You don't get the Gardevoir early on. Yeah, that is one of those things that's like, I understand why, again, like the Mega Stones are like progress locked, but it is still annoying to like want to use something and not be able to. That's how I felt, because I knew I wanted to use Heliolisk the whole time, like before the game even came out, and I was like, okay, well, I also want to shiny hunt it, and then you don't unlock it until like it's what, in zone 14 or something, so it just took me forever to even be able to hunt it. Oh, see, I love Starmie. I think it's goofy. And like, so many of the megas are like stupid anyway, so yeah. And I ended up actually, I found a shiny Staryu in the little area where you initially fight it. You want to use Mega Blaziken? Yeah, that was annoying. I mean, they've remedied that now with the DLC, but yeah, for the craziest thing is, like, the game came out, it's a Kalos game, the Kalos starters got new megas. You can get the Kalos starters at a reasonable point in the game. Mega Stones completely unobtainable because they weren't even coded into the game until like months after the fact because they were stuck in online. Like, what were they doing? Like, I'm lucky I didn't want to use any of them anyway, but like if I did, I would have been so pissed. Yeah, it's like there's no reason to lock Mega Stones behind online. No, Greninja wasn't even available at launch. Greninja was the first one, but it didn't come out until like 2 weeks after the game. Like, there was a point where there were just no stones available, I'm pretty sure. I still have never gotten, I still don't have like any of the Hoenn starters or even like Baxcalibur, like just because there's been no, I just can't be bothered to do the online battles. I just don't find the ZA like online battles particularly interesting. Yeah, it seems like they're probably done adding new ones now, so I might as well, because now every mega's in the game, right? I don't think they're missing any, so I might as well just like go in and clean them out, because I also don't think I ever actually claimed Garchompite Z, so I should get that one as well, because that's just mystery gift. I can just grab that whenever. I should probably just go in and do it, but again, I don't know why I would bother. Like, it, yeah, I'm just to have them, but oh, that's a great point, actually. Yeah, because if you do online, you're just stuck like, oh, here's someone using a mega you didn't know existed. Yeah, I hadn't considered that, but that is really annoying as well. Yeah, it does feel like they could have. I mean, they did. I mean, Mewtwo and Diancie weren't like crazy or anything, but at least there was something they could have done. Like, if they're just gonna mystery gift it, I fully thought like the way that they were revealing it, they would have just like the way they were revealing it was kind of kind of like Baxcalibur. And they could have just put it in online if they weren't going to do any of it anyway, because it came out after like all the Hoenn were already released anyway. Optional post-game Cynthia fight with Garchomp Z would be crazy. Which megas are we still missing in Champions? Because like there's still a good chunk of ones that we don't have. We don't have abilities for, right? Because I know none of the Z megas are in. We're not really sure how they're gonna work because the whole Z mechanic was different thing. Any other trainers associated with Garchomp? I'm trying to think. I don't think he does, but it would make sense if Raihan used one. But I don't think he does. He should. Actually, was Garchomp even in Sword and Shield? I have no clue. Very well might not have been. Yeah, Duraludon, but I mean, he is a dragon type gym leader, even if he doesn't really use dragon for that. He's using like Gigalith and Sandaconda. All right, we are basically at time. I'm gonna round out this 100. I'll get to 5,300, and then I'll probably call it because I would like to primarily eat lunch and also be a functional person for the rest of the day. But we'll do like these last 90 or whatever, and then we'll call it. Love if we could actually get something in this last bit, because it's the last hunting I'll do for this. And it would be really annoying to get literally nothing the whole time, but yeah, I do like, I would like if Cynthia was always just like a hidden super boss. And like, I mean, she functionally was in Arceus, just with Volo's, like Volo matching her team. But it would have been cool for her to be in some other games. Like, I think she fits that role pretty well out of the existing characters. Like, she is infamous for a reason. It's because her team is really, really good. Diamond and Pearl was... Oh, okay, let's not keep bumping this camera for no reason. When was Diamond and Pearl? I want to say... I'm pretty sure yeah, I'm definitely... Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. September 2006 in Japan, it looks like. Yeah, North America in 2007. I am older than those games, but barely. I mean, like, I wasn't playing until Sun and Moon, so... But I also just got into the series pretty late compared to the average. Like, I mean, because Sun and Moon came out when I was, what, like I was minimum in the double digits age-wise when I first played Pokemon, which I feel like is on the older end. Yep, almost 2 decades. I mean, I was born like the same year it came out in Japan, and I am now 2 decades old as well, so. Yep, that all checks out. All right, 50 more. Let's see if that... The odds are becoming increasingly slim that there will be anything, but alas, that is how it goes. Just a few more to go. What? 12 more? Like, cycles. Whew. And more. Ten more. I mean, 5 more cycles, but 10 more encounters. Imagine how cool it would be if it did happen right at the end here. Like, I know the game can hear me. It would be so cool if, like, in these last few, you actually gave me something like right at the end. That would be pretty awesome. I know you want to. I know you've just been holding out until I give up, but I will never give up. I mean, I will give up in about 4 more encounters, but I will never give up. All right. One more. $5,300. Nope. And nope. Delightful. One more for the road. And now I actually have to stop. Okay, let's get ready to raid on out of here. All right. We'll head on over to Zeldathon. They're live. And looks like a Zelda 1 randomizer, as far as I can tell. So we'll head on over there. Emmy will round us out with Safari Week tomorrow, and then starting Monday, our regularly scheduled programming will begin again. So I will be back on Friday with more Tomodachi Life. But the Twitch schedule and Discord event should always be updated. But we will raid out here. All right. Off we go.